Then there are political parties. Commission has been of the view that intra-party democracy is crucial. That should be very sacrosanct to ensure that everyone in every political party has democracy in his or her DNA. And that goes a long way in ensuring that democracy thrives and governance improves. However, Election Commission has no powers even to deregister a party for any kind of such issue. Therefore, this has been our recommendation that this should be provided for. Then there is a ceiling on candidates' expenditure, but there is no ceiling on parties' expenditure. And there is a very thin dividing line on the two expenditure. That creates distortion in the level playing field. Any party having a lot of resources can in fact spend huge amount of money on campaigning, whereas others may have to contain themselves within the expenditure limit set for the candidates. And with the advent of social media, these expenditures have gone to mind-boggling levels. Although the government has taken some step like electoral bonds through finance bill of last budget session, Commission had reservations and pointed out some issues on those bonds. The scheme has been notified on 2nd January 2018, and the first tranche of electoral bonds are being issued. I think today is the last day for such issue. So Commission thought that with first-hand experience of the first tranche's issue, we will again go back to the government, flagging the issues where reforms are needed to ensure transparency and accountability in such an important aspect. Then there are other issues concerning amendments of various provisions. So Commission has set up a review group to comprehensively review all the provisions of Representation of the People Act, concerned rules and instructions comprehensively to align these with the changing times, evolving technologies, and innovations seen by the Election Commission in different elections on the parts of political parties and candidates to ensure that these are channelized in positive and proper direction to strengthen democracy and ensure electoral integrity. These reform proposals will be compiled and submitted to the government shortly and will also be shared with the civil society organization and largely people through our website. The only time series data available on quality of elections worldwide is created by Electoral Integrity Project of Harvard and Sydney University. One Professor Pippa Norris and her colleagues have created this, and they are giving end of the year reports and mid-year reports on elections regularly. And you will be happy to note that out of the 11 indices on which they rate the elections worldwide, Indian elections on 8 indices stand among the best of the world. And Professor Raghuram was very right saying that Election Commission of India, with the good work done by former chief election commissioners and election commissioners, occupies a pride of place among the topmost election management bodies. However, on 3 counts, we perform miserably. The first and foremost, which has already been flagged by Professor Sastry, that is abuse of money. Even after countermanding 3 assembly elections in 3 constituencies, even then this is growing, not relenting, not subsiding. And therefore, all of us together need to put our brains together to bring up a system that we can deal with this malaise. And I'm hopeful that exercise today, the very first session is on money and muscle, may give us some insights to take this challenge further on. The second index where we miserably fail is on media management. So many things have happened that political parties and politicians have started owning the media houses. And it becomes very difficult to discern as to what is just totally favoring them, not paid for, but has to be accounted for, or simply paid news. It becomes very difficult. That is one. Second is to prove that. It becomes all the more difficult with the evidence, etc., because all the decisions of Election Commission of India in this realm always go up to the Supreme Court and they have to withstand the judicial scrutiny. Therefore, we cannot afford to err. We cannot afford to be weak in the evidentiary aspect. We have to be solid on that. Only then our order will be upheld, and only then our credibility will be maintained. And therefore, it becomes very difficult. However, there is a silver lining. In last 11 elections, which I witnessed as election commissioner, we found nearly 1,800 cases of paid news. We detected those cases. And when the notices were issued to the candidates that these are the cases where you may have used either the money or the influence or some other means in kind to get these published or advertised, and therefore why this expenditure should not be added to your expenditure account. And 99.9% cases they admitted. And that is something which is really a big achievement, that wherever we caught, we found that they accepted. It's only 1 or 2 cases where they did not. And you might have heard that in those cases, after collecting evidence, after hearing the parties, Commission disqualified the sitting members. And that also is extending the judicial scrutiny so far. However, these cases are still pending in some high courts. With that, I would like to just say that elections are well springs of democratic legitimacy to leaders and also to institutions. They all seek this democratic legitimacy through elections. And therefore, if sanctity of elections, if integrity of elections is protected by us all, as has been done in the past, we ensure that these leaders, these institutions continue to perform for general well-being of the people they serve or they lead. With that in view, whatever is being done by ADR and such other organizations has to be supported, has to be commended, And in whatever way possible, we have to ensure that these civil society organizations continue delivering whatever they have been doing with all their might. To meet the future challenges, whatever resources they need, we have to, as responsible citizens of this country, of this vibrant democracy, we need to provide them, mobilize for them, and ensure that they continue to serve the country, country's elections, country's institutions with all their might. It is quite heartening that some respected sarpanches are also called. It's really important to see that without spending money, they got elected and now they are doing very good work. Phenomenal. That grassroots level democracy can show the mirror to all the higher level institutions of governance in the country, even globally. So I would like to thank you all. Thank you, ADR, for calling me, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. And I wish you all success in today's deliberations as well as in future endeavors, whatever you may take up. Thank you very much.